This is the Christian Life Coach Collective, and I'm your host, Laura Malone. We're talking all things coaching, concepts, tips, tools, self-coaching, mindset, faith foundations, and definitely entrepreneurship, because I want to support your calling as a coach and help you build a thriving online business with God as your CEO. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Here we go. Hey friends. Today's the last episode of the gardening series where we've been talking about all things coaching business online. And I started out with the concept of a tree, something that you would plant and grow so that it bears fruit, being your business, your online coaching business. And oftentimes in the podcast and in this series, I have been trying to talk about having a focus and knowing what to focus on. My goal has been to help you not focus on things that are out of right timing, or even perhaps things that you will never need to focus on. The one tree focus that I talk about is a concept from a book called Essentialism by a guy named McKeown. It'll be in the show notes if you want to look at it, but it's a really excellent book, and I've talked about it a lot on the podcast. I share this concept that I read it in the book, but I've kind of developed it into something I use as a coaching tool with all my clients. The point is from a metaphor he uses of having trees in your backyard that you want taken down. In order to take one tree down quickly, you'll need to choose the right tree, choose the right tool, and chop away at it consistently. So I will add that if you give yourself a time frame or a deadline, you're going to get that tree taken down even more swiftly. And then I will add that if you have a good, strong reason why you're taking it down, you'll go after it with all that is in you. So let's say that you want to put in a swimming pool, and you believe this pool will create memories with your kids, opportunities for exercise, have parties, and these are really good, strong reasons why you might want to take down a tree, because it's in the way of where you want to put your swimming pool. Now, if you think it's currently March and you want the pool up by April 15th so you can get it ready and warm by the time you want to swim, like maybe mid-May, then you have a great time frame and deadline. If you have an axe and a chainsaw, then you have the right tools. And if you know where you want to put the pool, then you know which trees need to come down. If you don't have a good reason to take down a tree, then you're not going to do it, or at least you won't go after it wholeheartedly or consistently. If you don't have a time frame, you won't get it down quickly. If you have a bat instead of an axe or a chainsaw, you will work hard but not get results. And if you haven't decided which trees need to go, you simply won't get any trees cut down, or at least the right trees. Therefore, no pool, no memories, no exercise, and no parties, and that's me being very sad. So in the context of business, we want to grow trees rather than cut them down. So I talk about a one tree focus in the context of growing a business as something that we're going to grow, and we have to just adjust the process and the language around it a little bit. So we're going to focus on growing the one right tree, which is your online coaching business, and you need to know how to focus on the right part of the tree. You don't focus on an apple when you don't have a tree trunk or tree branches. All you have is like a couple of seeds and some soil. We're not thinking about the apple yet. We're thinking about what's going to create the apple. So you need to know how to assess these 4 things in order to be doing the right thing in front of you. Action. What is it you're going to do? Make it specific. This is kind of like the action that you're going to take, and what are you actually going to do? I'm going to build a business. I'm going to create the legal setup for my business. What are you doing? Define it specifically. Then the second thing is vision. Why are you doing it? Make this a really strong reason why that is attached to beliefs and emotions that you have. Timing. When are you going to do it? And how long and how often are you going to do it? And then the tools. How are you going to do it? And what do you need in order to do it this way? So notice that all of these have the word doing in common. You need to be doing things, not just doing anything, doing the right thing, and not just being busy, but doing the right thing. So taking imperfect action to take the next right step is very important. If you find out you took a wrong step, okay, fine, just keep going. And do the next thing in order to work your way back onto the right path. It's not that big of a deal to make a mistake or fail or do the wrong thing or not succeed. Really not that big of a deal. We, as humans, need to stop making such a big deal out of being imperfect and making mistakes along the way. Literally, we just cut it out. Tell yourself, next time you blame yourself for doing something wrong, tell yourself to cut it out. Okay, so since this is the last episode of the gardening series, I want to use this one tree focus concept to recap all that we've covered. In episodes 187, 188, I basically just introduced the basics of why it's important to understand what stage of business you're in so you can make the right choices about how you spend your energy and time and money and so on. I suggested making folders to set yourself up, like on your computer, to keep all the info and work that you're doing for each of the stages 1 through 8, planting, growing, producing, maturing, pruning, evaluating, resting, and multiplying. So in 189, I shared to get educated, figure out what your life skills, stories, and successes can offer. And 3 is go hard after the clarity, intention, mindfulness, and focus. Then share your dream with everybody. Tell them you're a coach. 5, be faithful and start practicing coaching. And last but not least, the 6 is pray about it and completely surrender, continually surrender this business and this coaching to the Lord. So your one tree focus here is these things. It's literally in 189, I'm giving you what to focus on. Get educated about what it means to be a coach. Go get some training, learn some things, read some books, figure out what you carry so that you know what you can offer in coaching. Get clarity, become intentional, be very mindful, and get focused. And you need to focus on letting people know you're a coach and practicing it and praying about it, okay? In 190, we had a guest on the podcast that I coached, and after she went through the Digging for Gold workbook, we kind of coached through that to see where is that golden thread that's tying who she is and the core message that she has into what she can offer. The last time I heard from her, she was using that coaching session and the work we did to actually start a podcast and step into her calling as what we were calling a go coach, helping people get going on the things they're made to do. So a little shout out to Joni. Good job. I'm really proud of you for going after it. In episode 191, let's back up real quick. In 190, the one tree focus is getting clear about who you are and like what is your core message that could become part of your business, your brand, your offer, your coaching, your practice, what you have to share with people. And in 191, the one tree focus is getting clear about the mission, vision, and value statements that you just want to start out with. This is a rough draft. It's going to always be reevaluated over the years. And also getting focused on who your ideal audience is and what their level of awareness about their problem and the solution they need is. That is the one tree focus that we talked about in episode 191. And then in 192, we talked about the Sokoka tree, about setting up processes of SOCOCA, sharing, offering, converting, onboarding, coaching, and assessing, so that you have a client journey set up. These are the systems that you need set in place for your business. Doesn't matter if you have a niche, if you're general life coaching, it doesn't matter at all. If you have an online business and you need to reach people and use the internet to do it, then those are the 6 systems that you really need to set up in place. That's your focus at that stage. In 193, we moved on to the next stage of focus about like coaching tools and methods and models and who you are as a coach, how you show up, what you're like in session, what the flow of your session is, evaluating the results that your clients get, and then checking in, reflecting, tracking, celebrating with your clients, and creating tools. That is the focus at that point. So you've set up all these other things. Now let's get to inside of the coaching sessions. What are you doing? And in 194, I told you about things you do later, like building and automating your email list. And mind you, with this, I will say, if you can start your email list right now before you ever start coaching or set up a business, go ahead and do it. If you are able to start collecting emails from some of the right people that you're going to be working with, go ahead and do it. It is one of the things that I wish I had done a lot sooner. I did not know how important it was. You own this email list if people give you permission to put them on it. And these are the people, if they're the right people, these are the people who you put content in front of and you nurture your relationship with them so that you can share with them what you offer. And that benefits both of you. It doesn't just help you build your business and make some money. It serves them because they are in a position to know what you have to offer that could help them. So their life gets transformation, right? Also, you need to focus up on setting up legally, dialing in your niche. Now that you have experience and you've been doing some research on your ideal client and ideal audience, getting certified if you want to, building a website. Let's back up. Remember, I say training. Getting trained as a coach is different than getting certified as a coach. Building website, hiring a virtual assistant, adding funnels, doing paid ads, and all the little extras like business cards and buying a more, better equipment or professional branding or photography, or adding to your offers with things like principles and curriculum and merchandise. Okay, that's all at this point down the road. This is where you can start focusing on those things. In 195, the focus was pruning. So how to prune things, people, offers, systems, processes, etc., all the things that aren't working for you in your business and in your life, removing what isn't working, but also removing what seems to be working but is actually hindering the growth of other things that need your attention and life flow, because that is just a necessity at times. I was talking about this with a friend, and I thought, it's really hard when you have to leave the old wineskin for the new one, especially when there is still what you would call drinkable wine in the old wineskin. It seems like such a shame to dump what's still consumable. But that's what pruning is cutting back anything that could be hindering growth overall. That's why we are grafted in. We are abiding in the vine, and God prunes things in our life on purpose because he wants to remove anything that is a hindrance to his love in your life. So pay attention to when that's happening. It's God going after your heart. In episode 196, we were talking about focusing on evaluating all of the proposals, which are your offers, your processes, your projects, and the people in your business, including clients. So this is about keeping things on track and using the QWMD flow, QMWD, quarter, month, week, day, that flow to break down your goals into quarterly milestones, monthly deliverables, weekly tasks, and daily actions so that you have things to evaluate against and see where you're at. You can really share, you can evaluate and see how close you are to getting to the results you wanted to get. And I shared about setting your seasonal goal and breaking it down into what needs to happen each of the 3 months to reach it, then breaking each month into 4 weeks and looking at what daily actions need to happen to culminate in that. Then I gave you questions you can ask about each of these things to evaluate and make wise decisions. So you might want to go back and listen to that episode as you sit down and say, how do I implement the QMWD flow? Okay. But that's the one tree focus at that stage. And then the next one tree focus is in 197 about doing things from a place of rest and operating with a Sabbath mindset. God is the one who can get it all done, and our patience, our grace, and our acceptance of daily manna is how we partner with him. So just focusing on this, making sure that you're implementing some type of rest and Sabbath mindset in your work, in your life, and partnering with God and accepting that you have what you need, and don't worry about tomorrow. And then finally in 198, we focused on adding trees to the garden, meaning adding things to your offers, adding group coaching, online courses, workshops, webinars, live launches, doing more marketing type of things, social channels, not just, if you're focusing on Facebook, should you add Instagram? This is the point you do it. If you have a podcast platform, should you add a blog or a YouTube channel? This is the place to do that. Hiring team members, bringing on interns, things like that. 198 is all about that, the multiplying and addition to what you already have grown. And that focus is something that I just want to remind you, these things, don't focus on them in the beginning. Focus on what I told you really need to get done, because that's going to set the stage and grow the best fruit for you later. So tying all of this content back into the idea of the 4 words I spoke in the beginning about action, vision, timing, and tools, where are you at? What stage are you in? And how can you figure out what you're doing, why you're doing it, when you're doing it, and how you're doing it? And I want you to think of this like math. In the beginning, the very beginning episode of the gardening series, I showed you, think of it like this: addition, then subtraction, then multiplication and division. Then I added decimals and fractions. Then I showed you how to multiply and divide decimals and fractions, right? And then I opened your mind up to the concept of algebra. And I'm so sorry for that trauma. However, in order to operate in the dividing of fractions easily or move into algebra, you have to have some level of mastery on the earlier concepts that I taught. So think of the business and this whole gardening tree aspect as that precept upon precept. Like in your business, what stage are you at? When I laid out the stages of planting, growing, producing, maturing, pruning, evaluating, resting, and multiplying, don't move into the pruning when you haven't planted anything. It's not time during planting and growing to look at the things that happen during the maturing. You don't look to multiply when you're in the stage of producing. Does that make sense? So if you've done what you need to do in the planting, growing, and producing, you'll know you're ready for the things in the maturing stage. And then you can ask yourself about those things. What am I supposed to be focusing on here? What's my one tree focus? Why am I doing it? What will it gain me? When will I do it? In what time frame? And how often? And what do I need to do in order to get it done well on time? So I'm pretty excited for all of you who have listened to the whole gardening series, because you're on a great path. So look out, world. An amazing coach is about to blow it up. And I am proud of you if you've plowed through all of this. And we're going to start getting back to some different types of episodes on the podcast, because this has been a couple of weeks we've been going through this, and I've really enjoyed it. But it's actually culminating in some courses that are going to be released soon. So I'm officially inviting you to the Niche Clarity course that is released next Tuesday, September 19th. You can buy it now and then be ready to dive in when you get the email that it has become available on Tuesday of next week. And for this first week, I'm going to offer it at 50% off right now. So check the show notes for the link really fast, or go to sterlingandstonementoring.com/niche clarity course. And then from there, that's going to be stepping stone into your business clarity. And where it's going to take you is it's going to help you get clear on the core message of your heart, what you're called to share with the world, and find out how that can actually become a coaching solution for the niche of people that want what you offer. Then the next course that's going to be released will build on top of that and teach you how to take your coaching solution and start up a business, real simple, very streamlined. And then down the road, that course will lead into a new course that's going to help you build your business. And all of these courses are going to align with what I've taught you in the gardening series, but just dive way deeper and give you a bunch of tools, okay? So bless you, friends. Have a great day, full of hope. And remember that with God, all things are possible, including building your online coaching business and becoming a spectacular coach who serves the world, blesses others, and partners with God in bringing the kingdom of heaven to earth. I hope that you loved this episode and you feel challenged, inspired, and encouraged. If you're a coach or you want to be one, jump into the Christian Life Coach Collective Facebook group so we can connect over there. And to work with me, grab the links in the show notes to get quick clarity about your calling as a coach and entrepreneur, as well as how to get trained as a coach with Starling & Stone and start your own business. Bless you, friend.